Question 125. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. You can formulate a password setting policy for Azure AD. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. Azure Active Directory can manage self-service password resets, multi-factor authentication, forbidden password list, and smart lockouts. Azure Active Directory has password policies that define settings such as password complexity, length, and lifetime. There are also policies that define the characters and lengths that can be used in usernames. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. You can perform user management using Azure AD. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. Azure Active Directory is a cloud-based identity and access management service provided by Microsoft. Azure Active Directory allows you to use groups to manage access to cloud-based apps, on-premises apps, and resources. Resources can be part of an Azure AD organization, such as permissions to manage objects using roles in Azure AD, and software as a service apps, Azure Services, SharePoint sites. It can be an external resource in your Azure AD organization, like an on-premises resource. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. You can manage devices using Azure AD features. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. Azure Active Directory manages how cloud or on-premises devices access your company's data. Register your device ID and provide a centralized place to manage it. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. You can set log alerts using Azure AD features. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Log alerts are not a feature of Azure Active Directory. Log alerts are one of the types of alerts supported by Azure Alerts. Log alerts allow users to use log analytics queries to evaluate resource logs at a set frequency and issue alerts based on the results. You can use action groups to trigger one or more actions based on a rule. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. You can use Microsoft Active Directory to set permissions by dividing users into groups and setting permissions. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Azure Active Directory enables identity management and security with single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. However, it is not possible to divide users into groups and grant permissions. To divide users into groups and set permissions on a per-group basis, it is recommended that you take advantage of managed group or Azure role-based access management controls. Next question. Which of the following is the correct description of an Azure policy initiative? And the options are 1. Custom design policies are called policy initiatives. 2. Policy definitions set in Azure Resource Group. 3. It is the functions to group several Azure policies. 4. It is another name for Azure policy definition. And the correct answer is option 3. It is the functions to group several Azure policies. Explanation. Option 3 is the correct answer. Azure policy compares the properties of resources in Azure with business rules and evaluates those resources. These business rules written in JSON format are called policy definitions. For ease of management, you can group multiple business rules into policy initiatives, also known as policy sets. Initiative enables you to group several related policy definitions to simplify assignments and management because you work with a group as a single item. For example, you can group related tagging policy definitions into a single initiative. Rather than assigning each policy individually, you apply the initiative. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. When you migrate your on-premises servers to Azure virtual machines, replacing failed hardware becomes your responsibility. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Azure Virtual Machine is a service that provides a virtual server via the cloud, and Azure Virtual Machines are an infrastructure as a service solution that allows users to control the OS set on the virtual server. IaaS solutions give users more control over their virtual machine environment to customize their hosting or development environment. Cloud providers provide physical hardware resources such as servers, storage, and networks. From this point, the cloud provider will be responsible for replacing physical hardware and security measures for physical servers. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Azure Logic Apps is a serverless solution for running code. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Azure Logic Apps is not a code execution solution. With Azure Logic Apps, you can create workflows with predefined logic blocks. You can use a visual designer and choose from pre-built actions to quickly build workflows that integrate and manage your apps, data, services, and systems. It is Azure Functions that allows you to run your application with code based on almost any modern language. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Azure Logic Apps can build stateful serverless applications. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. When generating workflows in Azure Logic App, you can include multiple stateful and stateless workflows in one Logic app. If you need to persist, check, or reference data from previous events, you should create a stateful workflow. A stateful is a state method in which the application retains the data that is the current state and reflects it in its processes. Stateless is a state-based approach in which the application doesn't retain any data or other information that makes up the current state of the application. Azure Functions also allows you to create both stateless or stateful applications. A stateless application behaves as if it were restarted each time it responded to an event. Stateful applications, called durable functions, pass context to functions so as to keep track of previous activity. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Azure Functions are a serverless solution for creating functions. These functions only work in the cloud. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Azure Functions lets you develop and test functions from a command prompt or terminal on your local computer by using the Azure Functions core tools. Functions that run locally can connect to Azure services, so you can debug them on your local computer using the full functions runtime. Next question. You are planning to build a web application on Azure. As a prerequisite for this application, it is necessary to install certain middleware and software. Which cloud service model is better? And the options are 1. Platform as a service, 2. Software as a service, 3. Infrastructure as a service, 4. Serverless model. And the correct answer is option 3. Infrastructure as a service. Explanation. Option 3 is the correct answer. The ability to install specific middleware and software is a feature of infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service is a cloud format that allows you to use the necessary hardware over the network when using servers, etc. IaaS allows users to log in to the server and customize things such as the OS settings and software installation. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. When data is stored in an Azure storage account, it is always automatically copied 3 times to different Azure data centers. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is it's no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. Redundant storage in Azure has a primary reason application function. Data is replicated 3 times within one data center when using locally redundant storage. Therefore, locally redundant storage never copies data to another data center. Data in an Azure storage account is always replicated 3 times in the primary region, depending on the storage type. Locally redundant storage copies your data synchronously 3 times within a single physical location in the primary region. LRS is the least expensive replication option. but isn't recommended for applications that require high availability or durability. Zone redundant storage copies your data synchronously across 3 Azure availability zones in the primary region. For applications requiring high availability, Microsoft recommends using ZRS in the primary region and also replicating to a secondary region. Next question. What do you need to create before you can create a new file share from the Azure portal? And the options are 1. Azure Migrate, 2. Storage Account, 3. Resource Group, 4. Azure Data Box. And the correct answer is option 2. Storage Account. Explanation. Option 2 is the correct answer. You can use Azure Files to generate a standard file share or a premium file share. To use Azure Files, you first need to create a storage account. You can mount and use file shares as network drives from Windows, Linux, and Mac OS clients. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. Once an Azure service in preview becomes generally available, no new features will be added to that service. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is, it's no. Explanation. No is the correct answer. Once an Azure service is generally available, new features may be added when that service is updated. Each Azure service is constantly evolving, such as new technologies and collaboration with other services, and new functions are updated as needed. Next question. Select yes if the following statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Azure Advisor can identify underutilized or unused Azure virtual machines. Is it yes or no? And the correct answer is, it's yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. Azure Advisor checks whether resources are being used appropriately and provides cost efficiency advice. Azure Advisor evaluates underutilized or unused Azure virtual machines and recommends specific actions. Azure Advisor evaluates a virtual machine's CPU utilization and network throughput over time to check whether resources are being used appropriately. Azure Advisor recommends decommissioning, resizing, or shutting down machines to meet cost requirements. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AZ 900 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.